Good morning, students. This is Mr. Sharp here for the first video for our fourth unit in Technology, Engineering, and Design. Here joined by my co-host, little Mason Sharp. We're going to be talking about the principles of design. So for this unit, we're actually diving into the meat and potatoes of this entire course. And that's the design process, otherwise known as the engineering design process. You might have taken a science class when you were younger in elementary school and learned about the scientific method, how scientists observe, hypothesize, test, analyze, and come up with some kind of thesis or some kind of theory revolving nature or something revolving science principles. The engineering design process is a little bit different. We do use scientific principles and mathematical equations to ensure that our processes are being done correctly. However, we're trying to create, not to create ideas. We're trying to create physical products that are designed to solve real life problems or to make human work easier, such as innovating the newest model of your car, or maybe even designing something new to solve real world problems. Maybe that involves finding new renewable energy sources. Maybe it's also finding better methods of construction, or even finding new materials that we can use that won't impact the natural resource that we have on planet Earth. So this is going to be the main idea for this unit. Today we're focusing on what those principles are as we start to think as engineers and as teams of engineers, how we go through that process. And I'm going to move my hand so I can let y'all see a little of my co-host here. So when we look at the design principles, there are 5 of them, but what we really want to be concerned is when we're designing a product, how can we make it impactful to everybody? And how can we make it adaptable to where anybody could use it? So these are one of the principles where you see that when we design it, you want to make sure that it is applicable not for everybody, regardless of age, regardless of what language they speak, regardless of any circumstance they may have, whether it be inabilities to perform certain tasks or any handicaps that they may have. So we have to keep these in mind as we move forward into this unit. Another aspect of designing is how to visualize and how to create your designs from creativity. And this is going to be a concept where a lot of people find that it's very hard to do because they find that that spark of inspiration doesn't come naturally anymore without some kind of reference. So you have to rely upon others. This is why it's important to brainstorm with other engineers. They may have ideas that you'd never considered or ideas that you may want to incorporate into this design as well. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and talk about the 5 key principles of design that are going to make up this unit. The first is balance. When we talk about balance, we're talking about how all subsystems within your design are going to be related to one another and how they're interconnected. In addition to that, how do they work in conjunction with each other, and how does your product actually benefit all subsystems instead of having one ill-functioning subsystem or one that really does not serve a purpose, which could save a lot of time and money. The second one is proportion. Are all subsystems proportionally correct, and are they given the same amount of functions and tasks in the process as needed? If you find that one subsystem is not gaining enough mechanical advantage to produce the output that you want desired, you're not in proportion with all the subsystems that you're creating. The second one is rhythm. Is your process in the product that you're creating actually going to create a reliable output? Sometimes when we test this in the engineering design process, which we'll talk about next time, sometimes we have to fine tune that process to make sure that output will always be the maximum that we want it to be. Remember what we said last time. The same amount of materials that you put in your process from input will always turn out the same in the output. Although it may not always be what you want to maximize your output as much as possible. Second one is emphasis. What is our total emphasis on this product? What are we trying to gain out of it? this is going to be relevant to how we make our designs based primarily on data and trying to create a desired result instead of just trying to appease to a certain portion of our audience or target market. The last one is unity. How do we bring this product to everybody, and will everybody be able to use it? We want to make sure that it's marketable to everybody, so that not only can we make the most profit from it, but can it be equally used for people who are living now versus living 20, 30, maybe even 100 years in the future? These are those questions we have to consider, and these are big ideas that we think about in the design process. Next time, we're going to talk about the actual design process. What are the steps of it, and how you can actually use it in class as we move forward. Thank you for your time, guys, and hope you have a good day.